Now then, for more of our coverage of World Refugee Day, and we're talking now about Afghanistan. With 2.6 million Afghans living abroad, well, it makes the country one of the largest refugee populations in the world. Some 2.2 million of them are registered in Iran and Pakistan. A further 3.5 million are also displaced internally, having fled their hometowns to seek refuge in different parts of the country. The number of people forced to flee likely to continue to rise. We're going to cross now to Islamabad, talk to our correspondent who joins us from there, Shahzaib Wahlah. Shahzaib, many of these refugees where you are in Pakistan, and there are plans afoot, even more plans afoot there, aren't there, to force many of them to return home?
Yes, that is true. Well, according to the UNHCR, there are more than 2 million registered Afghan refugees in Pakistan, but the government of Pakistan puts the total at 4 million, which makes it the biggest refugee population in the world. Afghanistan has been at war for more than 4 decades, which has forced Afghans to cross the border and seek refuge in Pakistan. But even here, life for Afghan refugees hasn't been easy. They have very limited access to public education or health facilities. The children that are born in Pakistan, the children of Afghan refugees that are born in Pakistan are not eligible to get Pakistani nationality. It is difficult for them to own land, to set up a proper business. Most of these refugees work odd jobs as laborers or run small shops. But since the Taliban took power in Afghanistan in April 2021, life for these Afghan refugees in Pakistan has become even more difficult. The Pakistani government and the Islamic Emirates of Afghanistan have been at odds, mainly because Pakistan accuses the Afghan interim government of supporting the TTP, also called the Pakistani Taliban, that regularly carried out attacks against the Pakistani security forces. And now what we are seeing is that Pakistan is using the refugee issue as a pressure tactic. We saw that last year in October, the Pakistani government asked all non-documented Afghan refugees to leave the country or they will be expelled by force. And then a large crackdown was done against the Afghan refugees. More than 500,000 of these refugees had to go back to Afghanistan. We saw among these forced deportees that there were many who were born in Pakistan and they had never even been to Afghanistan. And now there are talks in Pakistan that the government plans to implement the second phase of deportation and send back even the registered Afghan refugees.
And meanwhile, Shahzaib, internally in Afghanistan, I mean, the situation not much better.
Well, that is true. The situation for displaced personnel inside Afghanistan is also very difficult. The regime change that happened in August 2021 caused a spike in displacement across the country. Even though the security situation has improved in the country since the NATO withdrawal in 2021, but the deteriorating humanitarian situation has made it worse for the population. In fact, it is one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world, where more than half of the population is in need of help. The country is going through a severe economic crisis, and there hasn't been any large-scale rebuilding project since the war. Another factor that has been now threatening the population is climate change. With repeated droughts and floods in parts of the country, they are causing climate-induced migration. On top of all of this, the 500,000 refugees that returned from Pakistan, who were forced to return from Pakistan, also pose a huge challenge to the authorities. One such example is that a recent survey by Save the Children revealed that nearly 65% of the children who returned to Afghanistan from Pakistan are not enrolled in schools anymore, mainly because the Taliban's restriction on girls' education, and others because of the lack of necessary documentation.